Today I'm going to take a look at something that every Linux user deals with but might not really think about too much: how we actually install and manage software on Linux. Whether you're running Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch, or any other distro, you've got options. Let's start with what most of you probably know: traditional package managers. We're talking about apt on Ubuntu and Debian, DNF on Fedora, Pacman on Arch, and so on. These have been around since the early 90s and are still the backbone of most Linux distributions. Package managers are really good at what they do. When you run sudo apt install Firefox, it doesn't just grab Firefox. It figures out what Firefox needs to run, downloads those dependencies from your distro's repositories, and makes sure everything plays nicely together, usually. The packages are cryptographically signed, so you know that they haven't been tampered with, and updates come through the same system. The only downside is that they're tied to your specific distribution. An Ubuntu package won't work on Fedora, and vice versa. That's where the newer options come in. Around 2015, we started seeing solutions that work across different distributions. The big three are Flatpak, Snap, and AppImage. Flatpak was developed by the folks at Red Hat and others who wanted to solve the cross-distribution problem. Instead of relying on your system's libraries, Flatpak bundles everything an app needs right inside the package. It also runs apps in a sandbox, which means they can't access parts of your system they shouldn't. You can install Flatpak apps from FlatHub or other repositories with commands like. Snap came from Canonical, the company that brings us Ubuntu, around the same time with a similar idea: bundle dependencies and use sandboxing. The main difference is that Snap uses a centralized store controlled by Canonical, while Flatpak is more decentralized. Snaps tend to be larger and start up slower, but they are deeply integrated into Ubuntu. Installation is simple. AppImage takes a different approach entirely. It's basically a single file that contains an app and everything it needs to run. No installation required, just download, make it executable, and run it. Think of it like a portable Windows executable, but for Linux. AppImages act more like self-extracting executables or self-mounting containers. The trade-off is that AppImages don't have the sandboxing that Flatpak or Snap offer. Then there's Docker, which became popular around 2013. While it's primarily used for server applications and development, you can run desktop apps in Docker containers too. Docker containers package applications with all their dependencies, ensuring they run consistently across different environments, whether it's a developer's laptop, a staging server, or in production. This write once, run anywhere capability greatly simplifies migration and deployment. The containers are lightweight compared to virtual machines, sharing the OS kernel and minimizing overhead. Finally, there's the old-school approach of compiling from source code. This gives you complete control over how the software is built and what features are included, but you're on your own for managing dependencies. It's time-consuming and can be error-prone, but sometimes it's the only way to get exactly what you need. So which method is more secure? Traditional package managers have a solid track record with signed packages and regular security updates. Flatpak and Snap add sandboxing, which limits what apps can do to your system, and that's generally a good thing. AppImage is probably the least secure since it runs with full system access and doesn't have built-in verification. Docker containers are well isolated but can require careful configuration. The dependency story is interesting too. Traditional package managers share libraries between applications, which saves space but can create conflicts. Flatpak, Snap, and AppImage bundle their own dependencies, avoiding conflicts, but using more disk space since the libraries can't be shared. In real life, you'll probably end up using multiple methods. I generally rely on my distro's package manager for most software. It's typically fast, secure, and well integrated. If I need something that's not in the repositories or maybe want or need the latest version of an app, Flatpak is usually my go-to. Snaps work well if you're on Ubuntu and want something officially supported. AppImage is handy for trying out software quickly without installing it. The Linux packaging ecosystem seems fragmented, but you could argue this diversity is actually one of its strengths. Different methods solve different problems, and having options means you can choose the right tool for each situation. Does anybody out there strongly prefer one package method to another? Let me know in the comments.
So that's another video in the can. If you found this informative or interesting, please consider liking and subscribing down below. And remember, be excellent to each other.